Very good morning, Ravi here, and today is September 12th, 2024, and time is at about 8:32. I think I'm delayed by a minute or so, or 2 minutes either. Sorry about that. And if you're able to hear my voice, can you say yes? All right, I think this is my first question, but I'll try to find a way to not toss this question down the line. But right now, I think I'll have to do with this. Okay, thank you so much. And let me quickly give some very good info today. Uh, Yesterday um, there was U.S. Inflation data. Let me pull that into my screen, and it's good to know what is happening in U.S. All right, so this is a very important chart for you to. I just pull this chart today morning. So there are two. I mean, this is going to be some bit of an economics class, so but nothing to worry. I'll spend only 1 or 2 minutes. So there is a U.S. inflation rate, and then there is a U.S. Fed interest rate, right? So usually Fed interest rate we all will be very cautious and curious to know. But yesterday there was an announcement of the inflation rate has gone down from close to I think 3% to 2.5 or whatever. So that's the number, not 3%. I think 2.6 or whatever that percentage to 2.5%. That was the inflation rate. Usually the inflation, I think all of us know, it is a result of, I would say, derivative of all the prices that are usually consumed with people. That could be petrol or anything related to the food, cars, pretty much everything that are sold in US. So very evidently, the inflation has. This is the COVID time where we had massive COVID time. The inflation obviously went down quite drastically, and then eventually it picked up quite a bit when it comes to 2022 kind of a time frame, and then inflation also gone down. And then, as you can see here, this is the rate cut. So rate cut or the interest rate, rather not, I'll not say rate cut, the interest rate. So pretty much stayed about 0.5%. What does this mean is if somebody wants to take a loan, they will only pay an interest of 0.5%. And then what would happen when it comes to low interest rate? A lot of people would like to borrow money, mainly because obviously they do not have jobs to work, especially during the COVID time. And if they do not have jobs to work, what would happen? There is no one ready to spend the money. So that point of time, banks would give the loans at the lower interest rate so that people would actually go and then take that money and then go and then spend. So that is what exactly happened. And after that, when people got access to easy money, I would say when I say easy money, the interest rate is 0.5%, is pretty much close to zero, right? You go to bank and then say that, hey, I wanted, let's say, 100K dollars or the Indian rupees, let's say 10 lakhs, and then I do not want to pay an interest. I think everybody will be wanted to take that loan. So now what happened? Once people took the loan, they started spending, and then that actually had a very dire consequences or the bad consequences, and inflation definitely shot up. Because inflation shot up, this was back in 2022, I think somewhere in May or April. In fact, I was in US this point of time for a visit, and then very interestingly, what happened was even the second-hand cars actually they became costly. The reason was the first-hand cars, there was no production, mainly because of this chip, and some of those things got into some trouble. And then if somebody, let's say, bought the car for 40,000 US dollars, the car pretty much is pricing at about 55 to 60,000. That was the state of affairs at that point of time. But anyway, eventually the inflation also cooled down, and Fed also wanted to basically increase the this particular one, right? So which is the interest rate. So interest rate drastically went up, and then it pretty much reached about I think about 5.5% or 5%. And eventually the Fed wanted to now cut the interest rate. That's what which it is doing right now. And uh, basically right now, because the inflation has gone down, maybe Fed also wants to cut the rate. Now it is basically whether they want to do 0.5 or 0.25, depending on that the markets would actually behave. That's the some lesson around the inflation and also the interest rate relation. So right now, as I said, inflation is came to about 2.5%, and then the Fed in fact states about, I think, stayed about 5.5 or 5.5. That's what I remember. So if it comes to about 5%, what would happen is the interest rates would go down, which means that again, a lot of people would like to take the loans, and some of those things would definitely happen. So I think that's a quick lesson on the why there is an impact. So apparently yesterday, once the this data came in, there was a let me quickly show the Nasdaq what happened. All right. So yesterday Nasdaq definitely, let's look at this, right? So uh, this is go to 5 minutes chart, and interestingly, Nvidia has gone up quite significantly. I think that is also one of the things. So it's pretty much reached at bottom at about 8 o'clock, 8:20. I think that's where it again picked up, and eventually the Nasdaq actually closed quite positive. But I don't think it is all-time high, if I remember correctly. All-time high is still quite away. It's about 20,000, I think. So you still got some more time to reach all-time high. But right now, this is within this channel. So I think probably that is definitely a great news. So now let's come back to our own markets. I think Nvidia is also went up quite significantly. I do have some Nvidia shares. So I mean, I don't lose the sleep over it. It's very small quantity, but still, it's a any money is a good money. All right, so let's come back to Nifty. So Nifty, if I go with the one-day chart, it is still within the channel with a close to 93% correlation. So as I said yesterday, until unless it breaks the channel, there is nothing to worry. Yesterday there was a drop, but then a lot of people got panicked. But then, at least for me, there was no panic. The reason was it did not break the channel, and as I said yesterday, they started back in April, so we still got a lot more. Still hovering around this. As of now, this is the expiry, which is I'm still um, looking at this about 25,774 or below 26,000. I do have right now one call, short call at about 25,500. I'll take a call in case if it reaches any of these numbers. And today, apparently, not mid cap Nifty expiry. So as of now, from the 5 minutes chart, it shows bearishness. But let's look at what are the other data points are showing. I think the 15 minutes chart is 70%, and 20 minutes is 24, and 30 minutes is 65. Probably I'll stay with 15 minutes for today and then see how the thing goes. And right now this is bearish. But Gift Nifty is suggesting it's going to be a gap up move today. If not gap up, at least a flat move. And let me draw a quick vertical line here and then see what could be the projections for 330. So 330, it says 25133. Bottom is at about 25003, but top is at about 2525261, I think, around that. So my guess would be, while there could be some kind of knock move, because yesterday there was a significant drop. I think I would still think 25,000 is a crucial point. 25,000, yeah. And then I will also quickly show the this one's simple. All right, so let's go to open interest. So open interest for Nifty, yeah, there is a significant resistance at 25,000, but that is also because yesterday it fell down and the PSR is about 0.60. But then you also see massive calls for return yesterday. If you quickly go to this place, right? So there are massive calls for return throughout yesterday. So there are not much of a puts for return, but today I would still consider 25,000 straddle could be a good way to really look at. Let's see if somebody takes the straddle. So this obviously not a recommendation, but depending on the gap up, somebody can take a call. Even if somebody takes a straddle, what happens is straddle itself is shows about 0.1 sorry 1% up and then 0.4% down, which is I think significantly a good way to trade in a expiry day today. And let's also look at let's say I'll add some I'll make it as an iron condor. I think I'll probably do 100. I think even somebody does this trade, I think it's 41%, and risk reward is quite significant. For a margin of about 25,000. You got yeah 25,000. I think it's 0.3. I think it's my view, it's a good trade. I'll see if I take one trade here as soon as the market opens and then see. And I do have overnight trades and Sensex. I think probably my CE might take some beating, but anyway, this is for tomorrow. I'm not much worried, and I will deal with this little later. So, and then I also have Nifty trades, and this is something which is for the September expiry. So, which is I took a long call here, which usually, apologies, my bad. So long call here, which usually I do not do. This is in the money call, and as of now, it's in 1.24 lakhs losses. And then, but I do have a counter position on the 25,500 CE with a varied quantity, and also have the hedge here. So in case of the market moves up today, there is a I'll make money on this particular trade, but I will lose money on the CE. But then this will get into time decay versus this one. So if you really look at this is basically 24,000. So there is not much of a decay that's going to happen here, except this is 918 here, and then this is 977, which is about 77 points. That is a probable, not even 77 points. It's 77 minus 18 or 17 if I take. It's about 60 points decay, not very significant. Versus here also you have 60, close to 55 points decay. And then, but this is actually multiplied by big number. So that's the reason I took this trade. So, and also I have hedge here. So if I remove the hedge, it's going to be a little different. So 55 minus 11, which is about 40, 44, and 44 versus the 77. And I know I'm doing the math very quickly. It's 44 multiplied by 152 minus 77 multiplied by 20, sorry, 67 multiplied by 28. I think that's the number. That's all right. So don't worry about the numbers. Anyway, Sensible is there to help us in order for us to not to calculate pretty much all those numbers. So as I said, the Sensex I will stay, and I also might do I might do some intraday today, but and then I will also, I'm planning to do some kind of a mid cap nifty depending on the time permits. I think that's all. Those are the trades for today, and I will probably generally mid cap sorry expiry trades became quite stressful, right? So we'll have to take some bit of a caution. That's all I would say, and we will see how the day goes. And today I do not have any recommendation what I do on the Nifty. Probably if there is a gap up, I will in fact what I will do, I will go and then maybe do some kind of a short CE at about as soon as, let's say, if it opens at about 25,000, I will do short at about 25,300 and then start building that position. And then depending on how the market goes, I'll be able to play around it. I think that's the trade I would take today. No, not a rocket science, but that's an easy trade, I believe. All right, so I will be back on video in a moment. That's the content that I have, so nothing else. Let me come back on video. And also I'll take some questions. All right, so all right, I stopped the sharing screen. So let's look at Jayesh group great recovery you made yesterday, and can you tell brief about? Okay, so I can definitely tell you. I wish I did a better trade yesterday, but that's all right. So it's always there is something that we do mistakes often. So Bank Nifty, this is what which I did yesterday. So Bank Nifty, let's take 15 minutes chart. So morning, I started about this is it's open about 51,000, right? So I do not have any overnight trades on Bank Nifty, so I started shorting. I think 51,700, and eventually I reached to 51,005. I think 51,700. That's what I remember. And then I started shorting, and then I see there is maybe I'll put the 5 minutes chart. I think that's probably more relevant. So 5 minutes chart. All right, I think this is easy. So 5 minutes chart. This is what 5 minutes chart. Let me also add. I think this is too much. Let me remove them. All right, 5 minutes chart. I'll stay. So this is where I shorted 51,700. Obviously, that made some money, and then there is a recovery that happened. But here I started starting the PE at the ATM, which is about 51,000, and eventually I started with obviously less quantity, 900, and then eventually it got to somewhere here, and then close to 945, and again I kept on shorting this, and I said that PE I will not move. I will only short this, and this actually maximum that point of time went to 60, 65, and I kept on shorting. By the time I reached here, it reached this trade alone got about 6 lakhs of profit, and eventually what happened? It started falling, and I did not really build any CE positions at point of time, and I think. Here suddenly there was a fall, and then it reached about 3 lakhs loss, I think, mainly because this took some beating, the 51,000 PE, and then it gave some bit of a breather, and at 11:15 I had a doubt that it's going to really break. The reason I got doubt was this premiums were increasing significantly, so it went to 6 lakhs profit to some losses, and overall my trade went into 3 lakhs losses, and then when it started increasing, but again here I was at 3 lakhs profits, and then somewhere around 11:30 I have exited, mainly because this actually started building up and I suspected something might happen, so I have exited. Usually after exit I again re-enter with a small quantity, which I did. The small quantity again I did not take here. I took it about 50,800 PE, but then the trade also went into losses, and again at about 11:35, I think it again went to overall about 3 lakhs losses, I think. I think that was the max loss, and then I have now obviously this picked up again, right? So this did not really go beyond the um beyond the this channel. So I started building again this PE, and then now because it is also not moving up, I started building CA as well slowly. So eventually I started recovering somewhere around this, I think, if I remember correctly. I might be wrong, but if my memory is right, and then that's where mostly I think stayed on positive rest of the day. I think that's what it happened. And then this one was a little challenging because towards the fag end I was on the straddle. So straddle, I actually moved to straddle. I was at somewhere here. I moved to I think about somewhere here, I think. Yeah, somewhere here I moved to 51,000 straddle, but then there was a massive fall down, right? So somewhere here, so I somehow managed that in the last 15 minutes or so. I think uh, that's all was able to help to do the recovery. I'm not sure if I'm clear, but that's what which I could remember from my memory perspective. I think that's the trade yesterday, and I also happened to meet a couple of my friends yesterday evening for dinner. So I think overall it was a good day. Let's see how the day goes today, and surprised to see that you did not take. Yeah, that's I think it's probably a mistake which I thought I would have probably exited the PA loan. But then these things, it's difficult to predict. Some days they would work, some days they would not work, and that's a risk versus reward the decision that we need to take. So yeah, there is no right or wrong answer. So as I said, some days it would work, some days it would not work. So I think yesterday the fall I obviously did not expect, and that caused some bit of an impact. I mean, I wish, let's say yesterday if PE was exited, and I would have probably captured about 6 lakhs, and then when the downfall, I think probably the profits would have gone to about 12 lakhs or so. So, but anyway, that's fine. We learn from mistakes, and then yeah, we'll try to not to repeat. All right, so that's all I think for now. And the time is at about 8:52, and I think we should probably get ready for the market. And any other questions? So if you're on the video, and then if you're from Hyderabad, I'm planning to be there on September 22nd. In fact, I'm not coming just for this event. I also September 21st, there is a college event which I'm participating. It's a hackathon. So one of my friend works as a professor. So in fact, yesterday I met him. So he invited, so that I'll probably spend the full day in the college on 21st, and then the 22nd I will spend time with you. And then 23rd, I think I will return back to Bangalore. I think that's the plan right now. I'll probably reach Hyderabad on Friday. I think that's the plan at this point of time. But I want to cover those two events, college events, and then the traders event. Both are two different genres, but I think it's absolutely all right. I will tell you because I'm had to get the official invite, so I'll let you know once. I think this is the question, right? So probably you can ping me offline. So once I get an official confirmation, or they also want to do some flyer or whatever. So once that is done, I will be able to let you know. All right. So I think that's all. If I have posted the form to fill in Twitter. So if you are keen to attend that event, you can attend. There is no fee involved. There is no money involved. Just that we will share the food expenses. That's all. So last time in Bangalore, it came to about 1 point, I think 1,000, 1,400, I think 1.4K. So for per head. I think that's all. That's all from my end. And have a great remaining day. And if you're trading, be cautious, and be cautious about the spikes, and be cautious about the manipulation, which you can't if you're not trading. Absolutely. I'm sure you would enjoy the rest of the day. And that's all for today. Have a great remaining day. Bye bye.